Marshall Costner here with Costner Building Group, and today we're going to be talking about things that we look for during construction and ways that we protect your home during construction. Things are going to happen, and we're going to have to fix things that should have been perfect from the beginning. That is just construction. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that have to happen to bring the home together, and something's just going to go wrong. Somebody's going to walk into the wall with a board, and we're going to have to patch the drywall and then repaint it. That is part of the process. But there's a lot of little things that we do at the very beginning and all the way through to the end to make sure that we minimize that risk throughout construction. And so today we'll be showing a few of those things. We'll also be talking about a few things that we look for when we're walking through a home as it's being framed. And we're also going to be looking at a home that is nearing completion that we're standing at right now, and looking at some of the things that we're doing to protect the finishes at the final stage of construction. This home will be turned over in the next month or so, and the homeowner will be happy to move in with a home that has been protected and has beautiful finishes and can sit back and relax and enjoy their new home. At this time, we do have the first floor system over the entire encapsulated crawl space. And so during this time, there's a lot of things that we want to watch out for now to make sure that you have a good quality, clean home that is healthy for you and your family throughout the life of your home. So right now, because we do have the floor system on, we have a nice, cold, cool, dark space, and it has rained this past week. So there is water standing on the temporary black plastic that we have put down. And so we'll show in a little bit later, we don't always get nice, beautiful, clean lumber coming from the supplier. A lot of times there's a little bit of surface, simple mold that is on there that we will take care of during construction. And anything that we see down here, we're gonna take care of it too. But in order to go 2 steps farther to help ensure that your home is healthy, next week, because it's Friday right now, and then Monday's Memorial Day, so Tuesday, when we come back, we're gonna put a dehumidifier down in this crawl space during construction. Let it run, let it pump out. We'll put a temporary door right here to kind of keep it nice and sealed. And so this extra excess water that has gotten down there, that'll come out through the dehumidifier. Now, obviously the puddles and all that, it'll take a lot of time for that to occur, but we're gonna promote drying underneath the crawl space so that during construction, we do not have an issue of very high levels of moisture in a cool, dark space inside your home. Standing at a job site that is actively under construction, and we have just started the second floor framing. Now, I'm standing here at a pile of lumber that has all been rejected. And so some of them have been rejected because they came splintered from the manufacturer. Some of them may have come because they have a crown or a bow. When I look down, it fishtails to the left, it fishtails to the right, or it has a hump in it. Whatever the case, it has been pulled out and has been rejected and put in this nice, neat pile so it can be picked up and taken away. It also could have been rejected because the moisture content in the lumber was too high, because that is spot checked, and if once we find one that has popped, we start checking a bunch of them. So this is a rather large pile, but we would much rather this large pile get off of your job site and not inside your home, and so that you have nice straight walls. Lumber does twist and turn over time, and so we, especially as it dries out, which is why it's important to make sure that the moisture content is below a certain level. And then also, if we build the home with bad materials, we're gonna end up with a bad product. So in order to ensure that we're delivering the best product we can to you and your family, we check our materials. And if the lumber does not meet our standards, or any of the material does not meet our standards, we reject it, send it back, so we make sure that we're building the home to our standards. One of the things that we have heard a lot is people have the idea of, I want to build my own house and I want to be out there. Well, and I'm sure that all of those people are very skilled and know how to be handy around their home. But there's a lot of things that through the years we have learned to look out for and to know when, hey, is that a real problem, or is that something that we can take care of a little bit later? A good example of that is we have simple surface mold that has come from our supplier that way. And the way that mold has gotten here is it got rained on at some point sitting out in the yard, and simple mold has formed. Now that is something that we're gonna clean up, but it's more of a cosmetic thing, and also just, we like to turn our homes over as good as possible. But if it was to get drywall on top of it, it's not something that I would necessarily be really concerned about. because that is a simple mold that is not complex in nature, and so therefore it's not really going to be, you know, hazardous to anybody's health. And the reason that is because mold is everywhere, and our bodies have just kind of got used and adjusted. Most simple molds are completely fine. Now, there are many molds that are not good for us, and we do not want complex molds. We do not want a lot of mold, but a little bit of mold is completely fine. So, but to protect our occupants, we do clean that off before we put the drywall up, before the home is completely airtight and sealed. But there's also a lot of little other things that people who are like, you know, I'm going to build, they don't know to look out for, or that maybe their builder isn't necessarily doing. So, you know, we're going to talk about a few of the things. And one of the things is, even though we do you know, continuous exterior insulation, we do like to make sure that we have blocking for the drywall on both sides, so that the drywall has something nice and tight to hit to. We want to make sure that everybody's being safe. We have a nice clean job site, that we're protecting our ladders from kicking out and putting a toe board at the bottom. Also making sure that ladder extends beyond, because if somebody gets hurt, they're not going to be able to work on your home. But also, we want to make sure that everybody that shows up to our job sites is able to go home in the same condition in which they showed up. And we just feel like that's being a good steward to our subcontractors, our trade partners, and to everybody that visits our job sites. It's just, you know, part of being a good, responsible general contractor. So there's a lot of little things that we also are going to look out for. So at this time, while they're completely racking everything, these walls may not be 100% perfectly straight, and that is fine at this point. They will be racked before they're completely tied together. And so a lot of this bracing that you see is holding the wall up because it hasn't been sheathed. It's not completely racked yet. So it's okay if it's out a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch at the top and in the bottom. We will go around and check everything with a level. You know, we do have 12-foot levels that we put on the walls, making sure the walls are perfectly straight. And there's tricks of the trade that we know how to straighten these walls back up and make sure that they stay straight. And then after all that, we will do our flood testing on the outside to make sure that it's watertight, because we don't want to have it nice and watertight and then we move the wall ever so slightly and then we just rip the seam. We pulled something out just a little bit, so we make sure that the water does not get inside your home and then cause complex mold that will be an issue for you and your family. One of the things that I love is when a trend and a designed element that people really like is good for all people. And so one of the principles of homes that are designed for all people, to where you can age in place, is to minimize thresholds. And so we're going to be doing a zero entry shower here. And so we went ahead and thought through that. So during the structural engineering, we included recessing the subfloor where the shower is going to be. So that is why I'm down 6 inches right here where the shower pan will be going. So this recess allows us to get proper slope for a large shower, and where the water will just drain and go away. But that has been structurally engineered, and so we'll have no trip hazard here. So as the potential homeowner who moves in here could age in place, or if they get hurt, having a problem picking up their feet, we do not create a fall hazard going into the shower. Love when the design trends follow good practices for aging in place. Another thing that we do to make sure that everybody who visits the job site has nice, safe access is provide temporary stairs that is nailed into the house, so these will not move as people walk up and down. They're also nice and strong, and so as people are carrying materials in and out of the home, you have good footing, solid footing to stand on, go inside the home, come out, nice, safe way to get inside. Now, standing in front of some doors that lead to the outside, and as you can see, we can't see through right now, it's pretty opaque. And the reason that is we have put a protective film on both the inside and the outside. It's a liquid masking from Sharon Williams to protect the glass during construction. And so you can actually see that the overspray on the outside went on the glass. But once we're ready, we can just take a plastic spatula and peel the mastic right off, and it goes right away, takes the paint, leaves perfect edges, and protects the glass throughout construction. So just another little thing that we do to help protect your home during construction. So another thing that we do to protect your home during construction is we'll use whatever we have that's nice and rigid to protect corners like this. So this is leftover drywall corners that we have that we just cut and put here. And so when somebody's bringing material in, it's going to hit the drywall corner, not the trim. And so we're going to keep a nice, clean, crisp edge here. We also use this coarser floor protection that is static clean, and it is absolutely wonderful. And it's advertised as reusable, and we have reused it from time to time. But what we have found is a lot of times, everything that we're trying to protect from, that dirt, it just gets on top, it gets to be too nasty and we throw it away. But it works so much better than ram board or a lot of the other products that we have found, because it is static clean. So it stays great on stairwells and a lot of other locations, but dirt, we have found, just doesn't get under it nearly as much as with a ram board or with like a masonite. So we love this product. There's multiple manufacturers that make something very similar. And we have found that buying it off Amazon, it shows up within 2 days, and we just roll it out, and we keep several rolls at the warehouse constantly, so it can always come out on jobs. Make sure that we have nice clean walkways all the way from the door to here around the job site as necessary. So with the idea that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, we also like to protect our cabinet faces with a protective film on the countertops. And so we don't want anybody to lay their tools down on top of this. We don't want anybody to be having their tool belt on, working up here, and having their tools accidentally bang into the cabinet doors, get nicked up and dinged. And then we have to use a touch-up kit and blend it in, and it just kind of becomes a whole process. So with this, we can lean up against it, and it has a nice protective board right between it, and it's just a ram board, but it does have some durability there to it, and it'll last throughout construction. One of the things we do to make sure that we protect the finish on the outside is we have to think about what happens to your home when it rains. Once you are moved into the home, you have landscaping, you have drainage keeping the water away, but during construction, we have red clay. So years ago, we used to use just hay, but we found that it would wash away, and we would be chasing it throughout the yard and trying to get it back, so we'd keep buying new and just keep adding it. So we have changed to mulch, and so we're using a mulch around the home, and it works wonderful. And so as the water falls and it hits and it comes up, you can see that it's splashing up, but it's just wood fibers, and as I'm raking my hands, you see it comes off. When we pressure wash, it goes away, it's beautiful. If we were to do it with the red clay, you're gonna see all of this stained, and you can actually drive around and look at, especially white homes. A lot of times you'll see in our area, you'll see a red hue. That is from rain falling, hitting, and splashing up and staining the house. We don't wanna turn your home over in that state. So we go the extra mile, put down a mulch. We'll also spray the mulch to make sure that no bugs are living in it and getting into your house during construction. Don't want to do that. So we make sure to manage the water and make sure that we take care of your finished house to turn over a nice clean home to you. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the things that we're doing to make sure that we're building so significantly that we're helping change an industry and turning over a superior product to our clients. You got to see from the beginning some of the things that we're doing at the framing stage. In some of our previous videos, we talked about some of the things that we're doing during foundations and site work. And here we also got to see a home that's nearing completion, that's in those final stages right before it's turned over, and the homeowner can sit down and enjoy their brand new home. Remember, like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.